I've been really enjoying these mini sweet peppers. There's a quarter for size. I usually just slice them up for salads or cut them up and put them in my rice cooker or however I usually cook things up. And so I did a little research online, and one of the things I could not get a real grip on was how these things are planted from seed. Did some research, and it seems the seed packets came with one color of seed, and other times they would talk about mixed seed, so I don't know whether they were of different colors mixed together in the same packet. So it was a little unclear. So I decided I'd go ahead and take the seeds out of the pepper and then plant them. And we'll go ahead and see how that goes over a period of time until I finally pull the fruit off the plants. Now, I'm not going to plant, 20 of each one, which would really help determine the hybriding schedule and things like that. I just want to see, first of all, if it'll answer my question, if I get red peppers from the red seeds and orange and yellow as it is. These may be a hybrid. In other words, the pollen from this plant goes to the flower of this plant and we get this later on. That's always a possibility. And Mendel talks about that about 25% of the time. Also, it could be not breeding to true. In other words, it was bred from other ones, and you get that seed and you plant that seed, you get what you want, but you plant the seed from that and you get something different. We're going to find out. So basically, I planted several, and I'll show you in a little bit. I've planted several from each one, and then I'll snip out all of them except one, the most robust one. And we'll see what we got. If we end up getting red, orange, and yellow from the individual plants, then we have our answer. If we don't, then we have new questions. So let's go on this little journey and see what we can find out and answer the question on the internet. The weather's been a little unpredictable as of late. This is the beginning of March in Southern California, and we had some freezing nights and some warm nights. So I'm going to get these a good healthy start indoors before I place them outside in their own containers. And the way I like to do that is using some toilet paper rolls to make little holders for them. That way I can just kind of pick them up without disturbing the roots and putting them into their containers outside. So let's show you how I do that. Is I go ahead and make a cut like this. Sometimes once I get the cut started, I'll go ahead and use scissors, but this is just a one-off, so we'll go ahead and just go all the way through like this. And then just taking a pair of scissors, let's go ahead and cut about halfway up or so. I've done it with as few as 4 cuts and several cuts, and it doesn't make much difference. You're bending the paper afterwards, and sometimes it turns out real well, and sometimes it gets a little stubborn. So next, I just go ahead, keep my finger inside right here at that joint, as I go ahead and fold them inside like this. Try to push them a little past their point, and that way they'll kind of come back to neutral. And if you get a stubborn one, just go ahead and cut it off. Like that, so I can hold up now. Once it's wet, it's going to change anyway, but just so that's a little stable. And this is going to be the red one. I've already marked on the other ones being orange and yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and mark red on this one so we won't forget it. And then I'll put markers on the outside ones. Okay. And then we go ahead and just fill it with a little bit of dirt and planting material that I have from my garden outside, and occasional little root gets stuck in there. Just a little bit more. Okay. Like that. then we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of water so I don't have to flush it away later. And a lot of times I'll just water it through the bottom after this. Okay. Starting off with the red one right here is I'll just take about 3 of the seeds, make sure we get a good start. And cut away the ones that are the weakest ones. And here is the yellow one. So that's going to go over here. Okay. And then we have the orange in the middle. And place a little bit of dirt on top of it, more garden soil. And that way I can monitor if it needs water just by looking at the bottom right in here. And it'll be easy. I just make a little divot in the planting pot that I have outside and just place it in there. The roots just grow right down through it, and of course the cardboard biodegrades. So next time I'll be making a video, probably a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be putting together from the beginning to end into one video that's probably going to take 2 to 3 months. So till the next time. Here we have the plants. All are producing flowers, not fruiting too much, but we'll take a closer look at what we have here. One with the red. You can see a nice green pepper on here so far, and on the yellow, not getting much of any kind of size yet. Some of the flowers will have just a little bit of a tiny bit of a bud in there, but it seems that they're all starting on with green. To start off with, here's another one that's right in there and it's green. So I thought I would just post this to get you an idea at this stage, and we'll see when it changes to a different color. Do a little update. It appears under the red one, it's hard to tell, there's a little bit of color on one of the peppers. The rest are green, but this one appears to be orange. Let's see what goes there. Nothing on the other ones as yet. They're all still green. Don't see any of the color developing. Well, we've already discussed how this one does have the red, looking nubbin one in there. This one, let's see if it turns yellow. It looks like it probably will. And this one seems to be orange. We'll see how it fully develops. But again, they all start off as green. And then we have, it looks like they do show up as the final result of the seed that was planted. Okay, let's see where this takes us. Currently, we have pretty clear red peppers and orange peppers. But right now, these yellows are looking a bit orange there. A lot of green ones haven't really come across all the way, so I don't know if it'll be a later stage. So we still have to wait. I thought we'd have an answer by now, but one more is holding out. Okay, a bit of an update right here. The red still doing like we expect. I allow a little bit of pigweed to grow in here, and I snip off a little bit when I walk by. It's a good source of omega-3s. And of course, the orange is doing what we expect. This one, most of them tend to have a smaller fruit than you'd expect. And what I mean by the shape, it's not elongated like we're going to see here in a moment. They're just more rounded. And now this is the mystery one. These are supposed to be yellow, and as you can clearly see, there are some orange ones here. But also, taking a look at early stages that they appear to be kind of blushing or yellowing. And when we took a closer look, this particular plant ends up having two stalks. Difficult. Here's one here and one here. Typically what I'll do is I'll let two grow and snip out all but the strongest one versus trying to pull them and disrupting the roots and such. This particular one, I decided to let them both go for some reason I can't remember right now. But this is very strange. So we're actually having two different plants. The one that's on the stalk that I'm moving right here only has one orange, and it's a fairly light orange, and the rest are over here. I don't know what might be causing this. I think it's pretty slim chances that I put seeds, two seeds or more, from the wrong one in there. That shouldn't have happened at all. I was being super careful, as you can remember from the beginning, with all the markings and such like that. And so one of the things that I'm thinking is that, like with some flowers, the type of soil that is in will determine the color on it, like hydrangeas and stuff like that. They eliminate one of the nutrients in the soil, and you get blue versus it just being white or something like that. So I'm going to let this go a little bit further and see what this the ratio is or anything like that. I am a little bit puzzled, but again, that's why I'm doing this, because I was kind of interested in finding out, and I couldn't find anything on the internet that would tell me for sure one way or the other. So let's see what we got here. Fortunately, by having the two, I'm kind of eliminating a little bit of the Melvillian uh, ratios of 1/4, using homozygous traits versus heterozygote traits and such like that. So basically, by having two, I'm putting a big dent in the likelihood of that happening. Nothing, nothing. I mean, you can go quite a few and still have it beat the odds, but we've at least knocked it down a little bit. So um, this is a puzzle, and we'll see what happens here. I'll wait a little bit longer before we wrap this up, and who knows, it's a nice warm season, maybe I'll try it again. Of course, I have to go buy some brand new seeds again that are yellow, so maybe I'll just go grow yellow that time versus doing all of this right now. So right now, basically, I'm pulling these and chopping them up and putting them in everything that I cook now to get through them all, as well as salads and such. So anyway, thanks for persevering and sticking with us, and hopefully I'll have some new information soon. Well, here we are again. The red very clearly makes a green straight to red fruit. The orange very clearly makes a green to orange. Here's an example. See a little green there, it goes right to orange. However, this one's a bit of a conundrum. We're seeing some of these fruits start off as green, and then some of them transition, as you can see here, to a yellowish, to somewhat almost completely yellow. There's a little bit of green still in there, and then sometimes transitioned all the way to orange. And here's some full-on orange ones down in here. Now, I'm going to give these a few more days on the chance that they may stay yellow, and I'm not sure what's causing this, but this is a little bit something unexpected for me anyway. From fruit that was initially red, and these were yellow, and these are orange, and this is producing something different. Please remember to subscribe and share this video to help disabled animals with donated wheelchairs.